every good professional baker knows that you have to weigh the dough if you want that beautiful end result.
Definitely. It's worthwhile for consistency. It's worthwhile for keeping track of how much dough you're using. And if you know how much dough you've got to begin with, then you can, in your head, already divide it, and you know exactly how many balls you get.
Right.
It's very important.
Okay, so you've taught me a wonderful tip. We're going to weigh. We're going to, for this, in theory, it's the third proof, because the first proof was like in 2 stages,
Yep, that's right.
2 hours. So we're going to cut the dough, weigh, and then shape it into balls for the third proofing.
We're going to round it into nice little balls.
Right.
And it'll just get a little proving in that shape.
And the great thing in this lesson, we're going to cover weighing, rolling into balls for the third proof, rolling ropes, the proper technique,
Yep.
and then shaping. Shaping.
Gorgeous
shapes. Okay, so this looks great. The dough is nice and pliable. It's been rising for 2 hours. It came up about 2/3 the size of the bowl, which is about 1.5 times its size.
Yep. Now we're going to weigh it.
Yeah.
We're going to aim for about 7-ounce balls.
Okay.
Okay, that's roughly 200 grams for metric people, but it's about 7-ounce balls. That'll make quite a nice size, challah.
And of course, you can do all different, I'll give a little key to the different sizes. If you want to do a medium challah, a small challah, an individual challah, and then you would make, 7-ounce, 6-ounce, 4-ounce, depending on what you're going for. So you're using a dough card here. You can get it in plastic or in stainless steel.
Yeah.
Careful, the stainless steel can take off a finger. It definitely works really well, but
stainless steel cuts the dough better. The plastic is, because it's flexible, is better for like cleaning the inside of a bowl, that sort of thing.
Right.
You can't do that with a stainless steel one.
And rounding off, so this is a really good technique that I want people to learn.
So what I want to do, first of all, I'll start by looking for a smooth side of the dough, and then I'll use that smooth side, and I'm rolling the dough in on itself, like this. And when I've got a nice smooth surface, I'll just seal it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then we can lay it on the paper.
And I love how you have to know when you're kneading, you have to have the force, and here you have to be a little bit gentle.
Here it's really delicate.
Right.
You have to be. You try and touch the dough as little as possible, because where you touch it, it wants to stick.
Right, exactly.
So I'm just using like the tips of my fingers, the sides of my hands, and very delicately letting it go.
And you're just dusting with a little bit of flour. Now, I sometimes use a little bit of oil. Is there a difference?
Well, with oil, you can find that sometimes, like when I do the seal, sometimes if there's oil, it won't seal well on the bottom.
Right. It doesn't fold over on itself well.
So just a little bit of flour, and you'll notice that I'm not flouring the surface. I'm not flouring the dough. All I'm doing is just flouring my fingers a little bit.
Okay,
and
beautiful.
that's enough for it not to stick. Okay, so let's do one together.
Okay, fabulous. I like to get in on the fun. So just a little flour
just a little bit
on
on the fingers, and collect up your piece of dough.
Looking for a smooth side.
Yeah, and we're going to fold it in on itself. And then as soon as we've got a nice smooth surface, what you can do is to tighten it a bit more.
Sure.
You see how if I press it on the surface, that actually tightens the surface of the ball.
Good.
Okay, yeah.
And we continue like this with our dough, measuring out the different shapes until we have the balls that we wanted, the shapes. These are going to be eventually our ropes.
That's right, that's right. We're just going to leave them to rest a little bit like
this.
Okay,
so let's talk about how we let them rest.
So we want to cling film it, and one thing we want to do, either with a touch of oil or a touch of flour, it doesn't matter which, is just touch the tops.
Okay.
And this will make sure that the cling film doesn't stick to the doughs while they're resting.
Now,
it's not going to take long now, but...
And when we did that the first and second proof in stages, we went airtight. Are we going airtight here?
We don't really need airtight here. All we want is that so it doesn't form a crust. So if there isn't a direct breeze onto it, then it'll be okay.
Now, could you easily do this with the kitchen towel, or does it make a big difference to use the saran?
Actually, this stage with a kitchen towel would be okay. The first stage, if you use a kitchen towel, it's not enough. Air can still get through, and you still sometimes get a crust over a 2-hour proving period.
Right, not enough of a seal.
But for here, as long as, again, you dust the top, so when the saran wrap sticks to the dough, that's one thing. But when your kitchen towel sticks to it, then
forget about it. Yeah, it's like on all ends. Okay, so how long are we letting these go for?
These are going to rest for about 20 minutes, something like that, maybe half an hour. It's just
what are we looking for?
They'll loosen up a bit. When we've just finished the ball, then they're quite tight.
Right.
And then if we touch them in about 20 minutes, then they'll be a little bit looser. That means that we can roll them into a rope, and they'll stretch nicely into a rope. And we've already got a nice smooth surface, so the rope has a nice smooth finish to it as well.
Right. That's really important.